All right, what's going on, beautiful people? Impromptu live stream. Hopefully everything looks right. I don't usually live stream from this side of the studio. Last time I did, they said that the audio didn't quite sound right. So let me know if everything looks good. Because this isn't usually my normal live streaming setup. So let me know. Just trying to work everything out on this side. We got some topics to talk about today on this live. I really just wanted to connect with you guys, talk some shit. But we had two things come out since I scheduled it that just made it perfect to talk about today. And so the first thing up that I want to talk about is the All-Star voting has come in. What's up, Torian? All right, everything sounds good. Look, I may start doing my live streams from here after the games too. Just to keep it all consistent. If everything's working right, I may just do that. So we got All-Star voting in. DeMar DeRozan leads all guards, and Zach LaVine is fourth in all Eastern Conference guards. I should say DeMar leads all Eastern Conference guards. It was an interesting thing that we talked about is that the fact that DeMar was even listed as a guard, because he's been playing forward. But if he was listed as a forward, he would be the third leading forward as far as voting. He would be above Joel Embiid by that voting number. So just a little heads up there. But Zach LaVine, fourth. Right behind him is LaMelo Ball, but there's quite a bit of difference. It's like 300,000 votes between LaMelo Ball and Zach LaVine. And Trae Young. The fact that Trae Young is above Zach is, Trae Young's great. Don't get me wrong, but I would definitely take him over. I would take Zach LaVine over Trae Young any day. Maybe that's just because he's our guy, right? But that's where I sit with this. Are these lightsabers? No, those are light. So I do, you guys may know or not, I have a photography and videography company. So I have product lights. So like when I do pictures of like products or whatever, I have little accent lights that I can change the color on and stuff. And so I use those for product photography. And then I thought, because I have the whole half red, half blue scheme here anyway, I was like, you know what, let me throw these up here. And I did my video today with these. They're actually flat. They don't look like it on there. They do look like lightsabers, but yeah, that's I put them back there just to add to the aesthetic of what's going on. But yeah. So, but anyway, voting, so that's where we sit. And Vooch, surprisingly, Vooch is higher than what I thought he would be, at least because of like how his season started off. So Nikola Vucevic is 10th amongst all front court players in Eastern Conference voting. Now it's quite a bit of difference between him and LaMarcus Aldridge. Has LaMarcus Aldridge been playing that well to where he's getting All-Star votes? But Nikola Vucevic at 92,000 votes. So it is what it is there. But yeah, All-Star voting is kind of where I expected it to sit, to be quite honest. I thought Zach would be a little bit higher, but I'd fully expected Harden to be above him. And it's not that much space between him and Trae Young. And then the fact that Kyrie had so many votes, 200,000 votes, and he just played for the first time last night. But it is what it is there. Garland, 9th. Shout out to Darius Garland and his growth as well. But yeah. So we'll talk about some things. You guys know how I do my live streams. I'll start off with some topics and I turn it over to you guys. The second topic that I want to talk about tonight, though, and this is the biggest one, and this was actually a comment that was left on the video, is that will the tampering case actually hurt AK's chances to be named as Executive of the Year? Now, I did my video on I fully expect him and he's earned the right to be Executive of the Year, but I didn't think about that when I put that together, is will the NBA kind of penalize him and not have as many votes for him just because of they don't want to promote tampering? So, that's an interesting thing to throw out there. At least what I think of it. I do think that the fact that they were only fined a second round pick, and just I think people have kind of moved on from the tampering thing. I really do. I think as it goes on further into the season, people are gonna just kind of overlooking the tampering thing. Listen, as much as they were found to have tampered or maybe because of the second round pick, they were thinking about trading for Alonzo Ball last year. So, it's not hard to believe that most of the framework of that deal was already worked out. So it kind of is what it is. But, I'm going to throw that over to you guys. Do you think the fact that AK was found, or the Bulls front office was found to have tampered in the signing of Lonzo Ball, that they will even allow him to be named as the Executive of the Year? I don't think we've ever really had a situation like that before. With previous tampering cases that we got in the NBA, like with the Bucks, they didn't even actually sign the guy. So, we'll see what happens with that. Let's go ahead and go into comments. Torian in the building. What's going on, Torian? Appreciate you for being here, especially on such short notice. Blah still drives me nuts. We lost a pick for tampering, and the Lakers got nothing. But even with that, we're still better than the Lakers. Yeah, and it's a second round pick. And I totally would not be surprised if AK and Eversley buy a second round pick in the draft just to go ahead and get it out the way. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see. We'll see. My boy MC Season, how you doing tonight, Haize? I am doing excellent. I can't complain at all. Life is good, man. Life is really, really good. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, which, again, it's almost doubling my goal for the year. We haven't quite hit 6 months yet. It's crazy. What are those? I kind of just explained those. Those are product photography lights. Cap also are those lightsabers. They do look like it, though. They really do look like it. What's happening? What's going on, Shay? What's going on? What's going on, Juju? What's up, brother? That's my fam right there. Hey, my favorite new channel. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, Valdo, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the movement here. This is a family here, as you will see. We talk shit to each other and everything else, so you'll see we're a family. Bulls Nation, absolutely. You already know what it is. Is DeMar a point guard or a point forward? We all admit Lonzo isn't the half-court facilitator. No, I mean, he's still a forward. Let's be clear here. And I hate that people get so caught up in these definitions. The basketball positions have completely grown. So a traditional type of point guard isn't, most point guards aren't that anymore. So if you're looking at somebody who's going to take the ball up every down, always initiate the offense, that's just not what the role is on this team. But Lonzo is absolutely the point guard. He's clearly the point guard. Do you think DeMar and Zach LaVine will make the All-Star team? Yeah, I don't think that's a question at all. I think even if you look at the voting, even if DeMar, for some reason, even if we aren't looking at LaVine being a starter, I definitely thinks he gets named as a reserve for sure. It seems when DeMar went to a two guard to an off ball facilitator, no one could tell if he's truly a point. I mean, it's, again, this is y'all. It's positionless basketball. Let's give up traditional roles. Like, it's just like Ben Simmons. It completely blows that up. Like the role of everyone can facilitate now. The ideal position in basketball, the ideal style of basketball is that you have players that almost everyone on the court, maybe except a couple, can facilitate offense. And the Bulls really do have that. Zach LaVine, as much as he doesn't have to do it this season, he has been used to in the point, trying to identify somebody just because if they facilitate or if they take the ball up in half court as that meaning that they're the point guard, those times are over and dead with. So we got to let that go. In my opinion, we got to let that go. Zanny definitely should give Boogie a look. Couldn't hurt us none. Again, I really do think that as much as DeMarcus was cut and waived and they announced it, it's already probably agreed upon that he's going right back to the team. As you can see, nothing's really come out since then. Let me move my camera just a little bit. Nothing's come out since then. It's really been not a lot of noise. Even when the owner or the GM, whoever it was, had that interview, he said that, maybe we'll work with DeMar in the future. And it was a tax-saving move. That's basically what it is. It saved them some money on the luxury tax to not have his deal guaranteed on the guaranteed date. But he's probably going back to Milwaukee. He's probably not even fielding any offers. They probably already have all the particulars worked out. That's in my opinion. Vuce has been tearing it up actually after his quarantine. Yeah, he's had a couple of bad games the last couple of games, but the team's had bad games as well. But rebounding's been good. He's been improved defensively. He's had more confidence, more games than not. I think it's safe to say we're going to get more good Vuce than bad Vuce for the rest of the season. I feel safe in saying that. I agree. Why not give Boogie a chance? Yeah, I mean, if Boogie is actually on the market truly, then yes, absolutely. But we'll see. Especially in the new era of small ball, DeMar's like a three-point shooting. Man, it doesn't make it confusing. It doesn't make it confusing at all. Stop trying to put people in holes based off how they play. That day is over. Those days are over with. This isn't the 90s. AK said he's willing to listen to anyone in regards to improving the team. Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to say that. What is he going to say? No, or this person's not. No, you always listen to offers, right? But I think the fact that they're not actively going out for offers says a lot too. But you always listen. Like, guarantee, most teams listen to offers. Even if, I guarantee you, Philly has probably picked up the phone for a couple of offers from Joel Embiid just to hear what they got to say, and isn't ever gonna do anything with it. Just because somebody's listening and their team's listening to offers that are presented to them doesn't necessarily mean they're looking to make any moves. They're just listening because you never know. Somebody may make a deal that's too good to turn down. Off topic. What do you think? Who do you think will win a 7-game series? 2010 Bulls or this year's Bulls? This year's Bulls. Even though Derek is Derek. When you look at like just everything from top to bottom defensively and everything else, I got to give it to this year's team. Now that may be recency bias, but the way that DeMar is playing, like, and everything else, like I really do. Keep in mind, Derrick Rose never really had a true secondary scorer. So the fact that we have DeMar and Zach, and then everyone else, we know Vooch can pour it in and Lonzo can turn it in when he needs to as well. And that's just scoring wise. We're not even talking about defense with like Lonzo and AC. I give it to this year's team. Spurs marketing refused to call anyone but DJM their point guard, and that was the first reason DeMar. Oh my God, I got to get off. I'm sorry, no more DeMar point guard. That's the narrative's tired. Benny the Bull. Personally, I have Trey over Zach, but I have Zach over Harden. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Balls in Life Midwest has a nice clip of Mac McClung. Yeah. I mean, hey, I had always said when Mac was here that if anything, I really do think it was just to get a look at him, right? Get him in their facility and really bring them over to their G League team and see if they can keep him here and develop him and see what they have in him. I know that he got called up again, right? So he's going to be available for next game, but I don't expect Mac to get any real minutes anytime soon. But he is nice to have on your G League team and see what he can turn into. Definitely. Christopher House, nope. The tampering won't stop him, Haize. He's not going to get Executive of the Year because they don't want to give our Chicago Bulls any credit because they counted us out in the beginning. No, I think that listen, end of the season awards, I don't think count towards that because we know the Bulls are going to get a lot of national televised games this year, so it actually helps them. If at the end of this season they gave AK Executive of the Year, how many? Then that's a promoting tool, right? The reigning Executive of the Year. The team that put the best roster together last year is now going to be on national TV all next season. So, no, I don't necessarily think that, as much as I agree with that, right? I agree that the Bulls want to limit certain things within this season because they can't capitalize off of it. End of season awards don't really count towards that because then they'll be able to capitalize off the end of season awards from this year, next year in their marketing, in having more national games and things like that. That's my opinion. Again, my opinion holds no more weight than yours, but that's kind of where my opinion sits on that. In the era where positions mean very little, maybe they just have the top 5 be named starters in each conference. I think we're moving towards that. Keep in mind, there was a time period not too long, and it wasn't too long ago, where it was clearly point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers. And then I think they moved to like big men. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They moved to like just putting all the power forward and center together first, I think, and then they just went to guards and forwards. So we're seeing an evolution of the way that they're doing all-star voting. So I don't doubt that at all. Jeremy Grant is not a defensive guy that we need. I'd rather have Javante than Jeremy. Listen, you guys know where I stand with this. I think the Bulls fans have, again, Bulls fans, this is the closest they've been able to taste back to contendership, right? And we know we're a contender. So, of course, they want to fill that with whoever they think that we can. There's contractual reasons why Jeremy Grant trade won't work. There's basketball reasons why that won't work. And, yes, we do have a hole. We do need a big man. But Jeremy Grant doesn't bring a lot of what we have. Now, he is a hell of a player, right? Don't get me wrong. Jeremy Grant is a hell of a player. But if we're talking about just filling the hole that the Bulls need currently at the 4, theoretically he brings definitely a starting level 4, right? But he doesn't bring a lot of what we need. I don't think it really fixes a lot of the issues that we have there. So people who think that, oh, if the Bulls signed Jeremy Grant, we're guaranteed to be a championship contender are just caught up in narratives, in my opinion. Shay, DeMar DeRozan may not get MVP award, but do you see him winning the most improved player award with the season he's had? I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's ever been a player that's been in the NBA as long as DeMar has that's gotten most improved. That's a hell of a award to give somebody who's a veteran player. So I don't think he's going to get most improved. I don't think that's even going to be in question for a player that's been around as long as DeMar. That's just my opinion. Kevin Mosley, what up, bro? Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you for checking us out, bro. You already know this is a family, man, so I appreciate you for checking us out and enjoying the content here. I feel bad for Wizards. Did you see that KPJ game winner? I mean, it is what it is, man. It happens. Do you think DeMar and Zach should make the dunk contest? No, I don't know. Zach's already basically said he's done with dunk contests. We have the reigning dunk contest champion in Derrick Jones Jr. He needs to be there, and that's it. That's it. I really do we'll see. We'll see like what else happens, but we can definitely have a player in the 3-point, player in the dunk contest. We'll see about the skills competition and 2 All-Stars. We can be very well represented All-Star weekend. What up? Just got done listening to Knuckleheads podcast with DeMar. It's a good listen if you want to hear a lot about DeMar's life and why he chose the Bulls. Knuckleheads podcast is a dope podcast. I love it. Former sports podcasters are getting really, really good. I love how you brought out Petty Roosevelt on Flight Sports TV the other day when that one dude was talking nonsense about lines. Listen, it's funny. Like the Petty and the people. So my Petty Roosevelt personality literally has been around now for about 7 years. It originally came out when I was doing a wrestling podcast, and it developed over that time. Keep in mind, Chicago Bull Central has been around for 5 months, but I've been podcasting for like 6 or 7 years. And so I have a lot of different personalities. I have Petty Roosevelt. I have the Content King, Haize. But Petty Roosevelt is just, and it comes out naturally. Like I don't ever sit there and say, oh, I'm about to bring out Petty Roosevelt. So it's just a personality that I go into, man. I'm crazy as shit, really. Like I'm a very well functioning crazy ass person. That's basically what my life boils down to. I'm really looking forward to see how we play the Nets with Kyrie on the floor. That's going to be a true indicator of where we are. I agree. Dallas. Then we have Milwaukee not too long after that, and somewhere around there, we have a lot of like interesting games that are really going to be measuring stick games. We have like out of like 7 games, we have like 4 measuring stick games, and I'm really excited to see where the Bulls measure up against a lot of these teams. And I think we're going to, even if it's not about winning necessarily, of course I want to see my team win, but it's about how we match up, what we do. If we're in the games, down the stretch, if we are losing, things like that you can really tell a lot about a team. So I'm really looking forward to that. And as far as like what DeMar said today about, they took everything personally, and he trusts them to be like, that's what we've been saying as Bulls fans all year. So it's good to see that team, and we knew it, that they have that same mindset for sure. I get that we want to call it positionless basketball, but for purpose of again, got to move on. Got to move on from this position stuff. You think the rust will be off Vooch? I don't think it was rust with Lonzo. Keep in mind the team as a whole had a pretty bad shooting night that night. I don't necessarily think it was rust with Lonzo. I think Lonzo's going to be fine. He took only 8 shots. Keep in mind, I think DeMar missed more than 7 shots that whole game. So like, in the grand scheme of things, Lonzo's going to be fine. I think, it is what it is. It is what it is. I really would like to see Lonzo more aggressive. I would like to see them go to Lonzo a little bit more other than just having him on the perimeter, but it's all going to work itself out. Moving on from that. I just talked about this a little bit. I really think that's a done deal that he's going back to Milwaukee. Now, I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but I just think that the way that they set that up and they've talked about it, he's clearly going back to Milwaukee, in my opinion. But we'll see. Where do things have happened? We are not as dependent on one guy as we were with Rose, so it's really not that close. That's what I was saying. Yeah, it's really not that close. Like, I mean, well, you still had prime Derrick Rose, and we never really got to see a true prime Derrick Rose. But, who should be given more credit in building this team? It's them together. Like it's really them together. Let's be clear. A lot of the attention goes to AK and understand why from a publicity standpoint and everything like that. But I really think it's both of these guys coming in, having conversations together, charting out a direction that they want this team to go and executing. That's what I think. All right, let's see. I know a lot of people may not want a guy like Maurice Harkless, but let's think about it. Does rebound at a higher rate, defend at a higher rate, sky block at a higher rate, and shoots the 3. I get what you're getting out there. I mean, if the Bulls brought him in, I wouldn't necessarily be mad, but I don't know if he fixed a lot of what we do. Christopher House, that's why I love your channel, Haize. You give me different outlooks than I can see sometimes. Love your channel, bro. Salute to you. Keep your grind, bro. I see big things coming your way. Well, from your mouth to God's ears, you guys already know that's my that's my phrase when I have nothing left to say. I appreciate you guys. I don't have any ego in this to quote like DeMar and Zach. Like really, all I wanted to do was build a community. All I wanted to do was talk about my favorite team. You guys give me the avenue to do that. I love having conversations with you guys. This isn't about me. This is about us. I always say we've gotten to 4,000 subscribers. We've gotten to this. And that's because that's truly what I mean. I want to build a community, and I'm really surprised at what we've been able to accomplish. And it absolutely has been we. It hasn't just been me. There's a lot of solid YouTubers that sit there and talk to the same 10 people every day. And I was lucky enough to not be able to do that because you guys trusted me. You guys shared the word, everything like that. So we've been able to build something amazing here. But a Lotus, I feel like McKinney is going to be a huge surprise from us the rest of the season. He's really excited to be, again, excited to be home is different. And when you really look at it, right, McKinney had one really efficient scoring game against Houston. The other 4 games he's played for us, he has not shot the ball well. Now, he does some things defensively every game. He's not really caught out of position. But if anybody's looking at, and I'm not saying you, right, but there are a lot of Bulls fans that have looked at that Houston game and think that that's going to be the production that he's always going to be able to give us. And there's more evidence to prove to the contrary of that. Now, I'll be happy to be proven wrong. But just objectively looking at his games since he's been a Chicago Bull, he's had more off shooting nights than he had positive shooting nights. His PER was less than 9 before that game against Houston. It may even be less than 9 now. And he was shooting like a horrible, 20-something%, except that game from Houston. That is really the outlier. I hope to see it come around more. I hope to see, and then again, he was doing those things on a completely depleted team. With an improved team, when we see him get to play some minutes with Caruso, we may see a change in that. But I enjoy McKinney because he's definitely going to grasp, play better defense than what Haize was ever going to give us. But if anybody's looking or thinking that McKinney's going to turn into this skill and a scoring punch that is going to single-handedly save our bench scoring, I don't necessarily think that's going to be true. He may help in some games, but overall, I don't know. Heard you on Flight Sports TV speaking facts. Good take on Zoe. Listen, this is my thing. I'm not a box score guy. I'm an advanced stats guy. I'm not a hype guy. I don't fall for narratives. I don't get blindly loyal to any player. I'm all about production and what I see in games, and I try to fill in what I see in games and either support it or prove myself wrong with the advanced analytics and the research that I do. But overall, that's it. If Lonzo was terrible, I would say Lonzo was terrible. Zach LaVine was terrible, I would say he was. I don't have any narrative that I like to push or anything. So I think that helps me. That's helped this channel grow as well. I think that's hopefully why you guys do enjoy me, because I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And on top of that, because some people are opinionated, but then don't like to admit when they're wrong. When I'm proven wrong, I will fully admit I am wrong, right? And I appreciate that. That's why I love having these conversations with you guys, because if you point out something I don't see, I'm going to admit it. If you guys call me on something and no, Haize, you're kind of tripping on this, look at this, I'm going to look at it and say, no, Haize was tripping. So integrity means a lot to me, especially in doing something like this. Is why I don't like some of the channels that I do like that cover our team, because they don't have the integrity in it, and they're really just in it because the Bulls have a huge fan base and they're bitches. So I try not to be that to myself. Did you see what the One Warriors? Yes, I saw that, and that shit was crazy. Now, I get that people, again, he did something, it was wrong, but his reasoning of he thought that the guy was the son of another player, you would think that he would know. We think these announcers are so tapped in, but maybe he just wasn't. I try to give some grace because we never know fully, but yeah, I mean, if they don't fire him, they have to suspend him for a couple of games, is just off GP. If they've already announced the firing or something, let me know. What's going on, Pops? Dunk contest takes a lot out of some, like the home run derby. Yeah, for sure. And Zach's completely disses himself. We have a young guy in Derrick Jones Jr. I would love to see in the dunk contest. I wouldn't mind seeing Javonte Green in the dunk contest, but we'll see. I'm with DeMar. I think we're contenders, so we aren't in dire need of anyone really besides the players everyone wants us to get. We already have Pat, and we just need, and people, Bulls fans, I've said this is part of the Bulls fandom PTSD. We have had a front office that preached development, but then didn't put the players in the right positions to develop, didn't draft with purpose, didn't have coaches that were focused on development. So when you hear like a player like Patrick Williams can develop, some Bulls fans automatically go into, I don't want to wait on this motherfucker to develop. And I understand that to a degree. But again, we have to remember, people are so caught up in this window thinking this window's 3 years. Zach LaVine is re-signing. Lonzo's young. Zach's young. Io's young. Kobe's young. Our window does not have to be 3 years if you do it correctly. And I also think that they think that we just need, it's this microwave society that we live in. Everyone thinks that the correct path is throw as many stars at it as possible. The Bulls, with a solid 4 who can defend and hit down shots and doesn't make $20 million a year, can push that team a whole lot further than bringing in somebody who you have to now call a bunch of offense for and hope. Like, again, we'll see though. We'll see. I think Robert Covington will get bought out because no one is taking that $12 million with the, hey, I've heard some, like, looking at like how some teams are, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a surprise buyout candidate as well. I love the new setup. Hey, Star Wars. Oh, this is the setup I always use. It's just those lights were added back there. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. In the video I posted today, some people rightfully pointed out, this is where I commit I was wrong at. I didn't have enough lights forward for me, so it made this a little bit distracting. So now, as you can see, I'm more lit up. So now it doesn't make the background as distracting, but it's just a cool ass background. So yeah. The Bulls. What up, Haize? Good show. I don't think the Bulls are going to trade for anyone after the AK interview. I think the Bulls are going to wait for the buyout market. I think AK wants everyone healthy. And that's what I think too. Like, keep in mind, and this is what objectively, right? This is not saying what I would do with Patrick Williams or anything like that. The way this front office has talked about Patrick Williams, the fact that they drafted him as high as they did, the fact that he was the first draft that they're not trading Patrick Williams. And even outside of that, again, people look at players like Jeremy Grant and things like that. If you bring in another $20 million contract, yes, we have to match salaries to send out, but you're also limiting yourself with Zach's extension and stuff coming up. I just don't think that they do that. I don't think that they do that. Stacked ENT, do you think Donovan can be coach of the year of the season? Coach of the year if the season ends, and who fits the award section in the NBA? I don't know what you mean by the last part of who fits the award section. Do I think Billy Donovan can be coach of the year? The Bulls, I will say this. The Bulls have to either have the best record in the NBA or they have to get at least 55 wins for Coach Billy Donovan to get coach of the year. And I think he can do it. I think we can definitely do it. Mainstream media is starting to take notice, can't fly under the radar. No, we're still flying under the radar. Keep in mind, we don't have national televised games. We have only 5 or 6 nationally televised games for the rest of the season. We're less than halfway through the season. We're still under the radar. This conversation is happening a lot because of DeMar DeRozan's buzzer beaters, but it's going to die back down. Watch, it's going to die back. Let the Bulls lose, God forbid, 2 in a row. It's going to die right back down. I think Kyrie Irving can play in Chicago because I heard there's a new mandation that you have to be vaccinated. No, he's going to play. I mean, I don't think that applies to players. It applies to people coming into the stadium, but not players. The team is fine. This isn't even their final form yet. They just need their bigs, P. Will and T. Cook. Listen, I'm glad you listed T. Cook there because Tyler Cook, I have a lot of hopes for Tyler Cook. Now, again, it may not all be hit this season, but we'll see. We'll see for sure. But yeah, we'll see. Good point. Mark was a big reason we got DeMar. I mean, I'm sure that relates to Vooch too. Like, let's not forget Vooch as well. And Vooch and DeMar are like brothers out there. If you see like how they interact, even when they're on the bench, when they're not playing together, they are like brothers for sure. I would say this: if somebody's saying that Vooch is the worst on the team defensively, they're not actually looking at stats. They're looking at just what he does wrong. And I've pointed this out in the whole video before. Vooch, 5th of all centers in defense last year in defensive rating. This year, he was 12th when I checked. Now, he's probably dropped some because they had some bad games, but Vooch is not as bad defensively as some people make. And again, I'm not saying that he's a great defender or we don't need a better defensive big, but he's not as bad as some people make him out to be. That's for sure. SP, glad to see you're streaming. Just a fantasy question. Besides MJ or Scotty, if you can pick one Bulls player from the past to join this team, Joakim Noah. It's easy. Easy for me. Not only is Joakim Noah my second favorite Bull of all time, but Joakim would bring exactly what we need on this team. Exactly. Yes, he doesn't have the three-point shooting ability, right? But if you look at Joe and like how he developed into a mid-range shooter, a prime Joakim Noah on this team, easily favorites in the East. Easily. With that energy and that deep, easily. It's not even a question to me. Not even a question to me. Bulls Hawks. What up, big dog? Great content. Size does matter. Greek freaking and breed worries me. Bulls seem to get killed. Again, it's not about that. Like, this is what I want to say with that. Yes, Embiid kills us. Embiid owns us. Give him the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. He owns us. Greek Freak, we'll see what happens when we play up against them. But at the end of the day, even if we don't, like, you're not going to get any big that can stop them one-on-one. There's not a player in the NBA that's going to be able to stop either one of those players and lock them down one-on-one. So it becomes about team defense. When it becomes about team defense, the focus becomes stopping everything else around those players. That may mean letting Joel Embiid have a series like LeBron did in the finals where people thought, oh, he should maybe get finals MVP even if they lose this series. It may mean letting Joel Embiid have one of the greatest playoffs, the single greatest playoff series of all time. But guess what? You can still win if you stop everything else around him. That's my opinion on that. Let's see. What's up we got? Let's go. Turn the page. Most improved is a slap on the face. This was said. Like, I don't know how that would go over on a player that much of a veteran getting most improved. Woo. I don't know. Oh, this is a good question. Would Vooch start? No, because those are two players that you can start together. And the reason why is because Vooch is on the perimeter a lot. And especially on offense, like in the way that this team kind of gives up offensive rebounds to get back on defense. No, I think that Vooch and Joakim Noah could play together. I think that for sure. A prime Joakim with this version of Vooch, I definitely think that they can play together. What's up, Haize? Just tuning in. Did we talk about the Bucks? Yes, we have. I've already said it. I think that it's predetermined that he's going back to Milwaukee. They're going to let this waiver period, they're going to let this guarantee date go down, and he's going to be re-signed. That's just what I think is going to happen. Rick Fernandez, what's going on, my brother? One thing that separates you from the rest of the Bulls pods is that you keep it 100 at all times and that you don't post trade clickbait. Thank you for your consistency in your content, CBC Army. First of all, that means the world to me. That the appreciation of the consistency of the content, that means the world to me. That more than Petty Roosevelt, more than anything else, that means the world because that's what I wanted to bring if I was going to cover the Chicago Bulls. That's it. That's all I can bring. I don't have any sources. I'm not an insider. I'm not going to get any of the player interviews. I'm not going to do all of that, any of that. So the only thing that I can bring you is my God's honest opinion on this team and be objective in the way that I review and critique and talk about this team. That's all I have to offer. And I'm glad that it's been enough. Don't think Noah has. Well, Dad, the question was, I think anybody in history. So I'm saying a prime Joakim Noah. But yeah, Noah right now, no. Noah is Joakim Noah right now is he probably has an office somewhere because they gave him like an ambassador position, and he is smoking the best weed in the world right now and enjoying the paycheck he's getting from the Chicago Bulls. Oh, man. Can the Bulls host their own slam dunk contest this year? All-Star break. Levine, Jones Jr., Mac McClung, Javante Green, and the younger Debo. Hey, man, that would be a hell of a dunk contest. Do you think Billy Donovan will become the All-Star coach of the Eastern Conference? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the All-Star coach goes to the coach that has the best record going into the All-Star break. So I do think that's a possibility. Blah. We all know the Bulls are winning 58 games anyway, from you and Key Isaac's mouth to God's ears. If the Bulls offer Dirk a 10-day contract, you think he would say, yep, listen, Dirk is another player that is very much enjoying his retirement. Don't trade Patrick Williams. You really don't need another scorer. Besides, our bench would be scary with Kobe, Io, Green, and AC. And I want to throw this in there. Tyler Cook, throw that in there as well when he gets back healthy. That's all I'm going to say. Any thoughts on the Bulls' future? Because they seem to build a team for now. And that's what people are forgetting. I get people saying go all in, but you can do both. And smart teams, dynasties do both. When you look at For example, the Spurs. And again, I'm not comparing Patrick Williams to Kawhi because I know that's like something people do. But they didn't say, hey, we still got Manu. We still got XYZ. We have this young player in Kawhi. Let's go trade him away and bring in another star. No, you let him develop. Now, he did eventually ended up leaving, right? But that was a piece that you could have built. Like, you don't just trade away. Like I said, it would be different if Zach was also like 32 years old like DeMar. But with Zach's very much still in the prime of his career and having years and years left, you don't just give up your young players that are developing and players like Kobe who are getting better. Not to say that there won't be a better deal for Kobe, but we'll see. People are worried about us getting blown out again by the Warriors, but you got to remember the Warriors have a big man problem as well. And remember the last game that we played them, Vuce was out. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Again, this team isn't the same team that played them before. We've gotten better and everything like that, so we'll see. I was thinking about a trade for Brandon Clark from the Grizzlies. He has size, rebound, interiority, plus he fits our fast-paced offense. I don't know if the Grizzlies are willing to trade him, though. I don't know either because the Grizzlies are starting to make a push themselves, or will make a push, so we'll see. We'll see. Vote for our Bull. Absolutely. Make sure you guys vote for the Bulls every single day. Every single day. As my son screams, my son's back up. Io's picking up a lot of IQ, not only on defense because I feel we knew how hard he can play on D, but his offensive IQ and choice making on the floor improves game by. Listen, Io is improving every minute, every second, every time he practices, every time he plays. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna mute myself so I can yell at my son. Hold on. Sorry, I had a daddy there for a second. What's up, Haize? You've changed my mind for the better about not trading for Jeremy Grant. What would your thoughts be about trading for Serge Ibaka? Won't have to give up much, and he's still a good shot. I would like. It depends on what you have to give up for him. Do they just take Troy Brown Jr.'s contract? Right? Do they take that? Because if it's something like that, you do that trade. If it gets to being something about Kobe, I don't think so unless they throw in some other stuff. I don't think this team is going to make a trade. I think it's going to come via the buyout market. That's what I think. Bulls don't need a big trade. Troy Brown for Torrey Craig and DeMar. Yeah, chemistry matters, but I don't know if Torrey Craig is the answer either. I understand why you do that, and especially considering we're so deep at the wing when everyone's healthy. I understand why you're saying Troy Brown. Do they take that? If they take that trade, if it's just Troy Brown and Torrey, I don't know if the contracts match up off the top of my head, but if they take that straight up, I think you have to do it. And I don't do trade talk a lot, but I think you have to do it. Is it safe to say Tony Bradley may fall completely out of the rotation with the emergence of Cook? Of course, when Cook is back from injury. I think so. I think because Cook brings you more competence on offense, and his defense isn't such a gap between his and Tony Bradley's defense, in my opinion, that I don't know. I just don't know. They both have potential. Don't get me wrong. When Tony Bradley's on defensively, he's on. But I have not seen a game from Tony Bradley where I would trust anything with him on offense. I would trust Cook on offense. And a team where bench scoring hasn't always been our best, I really do like Cook and his potential. I do. Like at 6'9", 255, and the quickness and athleticism he's shown, man. Imagine if we had a prime Noah, we would tear the NBA for years. Listen, it's over. It's over. Matter of fact, they need to do a brain transplant and put Joakim Noah's brain and his heart into Patrick Williams' body. That's what they need to do. I think Nikola Vucevic can guard Joel Embiid pretty well because if you think about it, Drama B kind of struggles a little bit against the length, and centers that play smart defense, and Vucevic can. We'll see. I don't know if anybody can. I mean, well, what do you define by well, right? Not getting cooked by 40? We've seen Middleton not show up. We've seen Seth Curry not play well. Embiid and Giannis will get their numbers, but it's team sport. They'll pull LeBron 40 points in and bounce out. That's what I'm saying. The Bulls, good question. Do you think Vooch will be an all-star this year? Also, what importance in the playoffs, half-court offense and half-court defense? Half-court offense and half-court defense in the playoffs is hugely important. Vastly important because the game slows down at times, especially when you're playing with the 3 games and 4 nights and things like that. Absolutely. As far as Vooch being an All-Star, the only way that I see Vooch would have to play consistently from now until the All-Star break, and even then, I think the only chance that he gets is if the coaches put him in. And let me go back to the All-Star voting here for a second. So when you look at because it's all forwards thrown in, and a young player like Jared Allen, Bam's season so far, Miles Bridges, who may be the most improved player this year, it may be hard for Vooch. But I think that's the way that Vooch can get in it. That's the way Vooch can get in it. Joseph. Finally realized who IO reminds me of. A young Iguodala. He's sneaky good on offense, finds the right place to be all the time, and plays defense like a pit bull. I see where you're going with that. But Iguodala was such an athletic beast, right? Athleticism out this world. I still remember there was a 2-week period after the Sixers traded AI where there was this thing of Philly still has the better AI because Andre Iguodala he just went on a tear. Andre Iguodala's athleticism in his prime, when he was young, is literally it may be some of the best just raw athleticism ever. So, but outside of that, I understand where you're getting at there. I'm starting to think Acme won't make moves at the deadline. I really think they'll just wait for P. Will to come back. Like I said, I think that they're going to evaluate, maybe look at the buyout market, but I think there's something to say about Patrick Williams coming back and their trust in him. The fact that it's been really, really quiet on him as well, outside of some things. Hey, I would not be surprised at all. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see. This is an interesting one because it comes up if Tristan Thompson gets bought out from the Sacramento Kings, will he be a good pickup? I think yes. I think he would be a good pickup in a cup, depending on some things, right? He doesn't offer the shooting that I hope that, and again, not you have to call or run plays for, but the open shooting, I don't know if he offers, but as far as rim protection and shot blocking, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if he's the only player that gets bought out, I mean, taking a look at him would not be bad at all. How do you feel about Green possibly not being available? Well, he won't be. He won't be available for the Nets game. That's just not going to happen. You look at, they said 2 to 4 weeks. He's not going to be back if we're talking about Javonte Green. So yeah, it's not going to happen. And that's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. One more screaming Petty Roosevelt will come out. Listen, I'm trying my best, man, especially because I'm live. I'm trying my best. He probably does have one more time. I heard that the Lakers are willing to trade DeAndre Jordan in order to clear a roster spot. Do you think the Bulls will trade a player like Matt Thomas for? I don't think that contract works at all. I don't think that is even close to being able to trade for him. I think you call the Lakers bluff. You force them to buy out or waive DeAndre Jordan, and then maybe take a look. But even then, I don't know. Let's see what else we got. Is Ersan? No, I believe his 10-day contract is up, and I haven't seen anything about them offering a new one. Now, with Caruso going into health and safety protocols, it would mean that they have another hardship deal. So it's possible, but we'll see. Oh, Marcus comes through. They released him yesterday. Well, there you go. All right, hold on real quick. All right, back. Let's see what else we got. I hope you guys didn't hear that. I think I muted it. Why Bradley Beal and Jaylen Brown not even on the top 10 on All-Star voting? Damn, I did not even realize that. Wow. I mean, maybe it just comes down to the fact that the teams aren't really not Jaylen. Well, the Boston Celtics overall, I think people are just disappointed in them. But Bradley Beal, man, I don't know. Let's see. Trying to catch up. Did you guys hear that? Is that what he's laughing at? I thought I muted my mic. Did you guys hear that? Oh man. Stopping Steph and Clay is kind of impossible. You keep up, can't rely on bad shooting nights, so consistency and staggering the defensive effort. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. The Warriors, I've said it. Warriors absolutely put fear in my heart, just because, especially with Clay back, what they can be. It's really going to be interesting. Really, I don't know how the Bulls defense is great, right? We know the Bulls have a great defense. They have a top 5 defense. Everyone's healthy and they're playing all good. But what they do with Steph and Clay, whew, I don't know, man. I don't know. Isn't Melo in the top 10 guards? LOL, it's so dumb. Yeah, Melo is. LaMelo is number 5, right behind Zach LaVine at number 4. So, yep. My sister in the building, don't yell at my baby. Hey, somebody got to yell at him. Somebody got to yell. And listen, it is what it is. I think Io, Kobe, and P. Will be the future of the Bulls the next 5. Zach LaVine, too. Let's keep in mind. We're re-signing Zach LaVine. He's absolutely going to be here. And Zoe, I think Zoe is going unless something goes completely left, I think Zoe is going to be a Bull for a very long time. Now, what that makes interesting is that means that potentially for your next however long, your guards are set. As far as even if they end up not signing Caruso at the end of his deal, you have Lonzo, LaVine, Io, Kobe at guards set. Now, depending on contracts, you may have to let one of them go. We'll see. It's very difficult to keep players, that many players together for a long time. We'll see. The last time that I thought that something like that happened was what? Marcus, but then they end up losing Kyrie. So we'll see what happens with that. But either way, let's say this. Either Io or Kobe are going to be here for a long time. You pairing Lonzo with that, Caruso for as long as he stays as well, Zach LaVine, our guard rotation is really going to be locked in for a while if everyone keeps developing in the way that we think that they can. So we'll see. I don't think the guard is going to be a position of worry for the Bulls for quite a long time. Clay hit his 13. Yeah, I know. But guess what? That wasn't a team with Zach LaVine wasn't the defender that he is now. But on top of that, Lonzo, Caruso, Io. Listen, if Klay Thompson tries to hit that many threes on the Chicago Bulls, I'm guaranteeing that motherfucker is going to get a hard foul at some point. It's going to happen. There's no way. This team is not going to allow that. I think Zoe can retire a Bull. That's what Zoe is. 23, right? 23. So easily, you got to look. Zoe has, barring injury or anything like that, 9 or 10 years left in his career, if not more. Does he stay here that long? This is a new front office, so it's possible. What's the longest tenured Bull we had under Garpax? It couldn't have been longer than 8 years. Was Joakim Noah the longest tenured Bull under Garpax? Because we traded away Luau, Kurt left and came back. As far as just one singular stretch, I think it was Joe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I like the Mavs game. It's like the Wizards, good teams, but teams we can beat even when we play poorly. Listen, it depends, man. Luka is a bad man. That's a bad team. Not bad in a good way. Not like bad as in they're terrible, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. What is that? Dun, dun, dun. All right, sorry. I had to check in on the kiddos. LeVar said I don't give a fuck what LeVar said. I don't give a damn what I don't give a damn what LeVar said. LeVar just be talking. LeVar just talks to talk. LeVar, if you get LeVar's never seen a microphone or a camera that he didn't fall in love with. I don't give a goddamn what LeVar Ball said about any goddamn thing. LeVar ain't nobody checking for LeVar Ball. That's what I got to say with that. I think Zoe and Zach have the highest chances of retiring a Bull, and Vooch, because I don't see us moving him or him leaving before he retires. Well, let's not say that, right? So Zoe and Zach definitely, especially considering Zach is about to sign a long extension. He's 27. You would think that that's going to carry him throughout most of his prime, unless he's like ring chasing at the end or something. So Zach, I see. Zoe remains to be seen. Let's see Zoe like a year or two from now, and like how that any extension talks or anything going. As far as Vooch, I don't know about Vooch, and here's why I don't know about Vooch. Vucevic's contract expires at the end of next year. He's going to be a 33-year-old big man at that point, almost 33-year-old big man. If the Bulls can make an upgrade for just youth, maybe not someone who can quite match the production of Vooch, or if Marco, anybody develops, whatever, if they draft somebody, I can easily see Vooch not being here. Maybe at the end of his contract, signing a 1-year deal at a much larger one with a player option at the end. But I don't know if I necessarily see Vooch retiring a Bull. That's just my opinion on it. Again, my opinion holds no more weight than anyone else's, but we'll see. Let's see. What's up, dude? How's your week been with no Bulls games? It's been. Listen. I think because I have now embraced the daily content thing. Do you guys remember at the beginning of this, for anyone who was around, and I flat out looked in the camera and said, you will not be getting daily content from me. At this point now, I create daily content for the Bulls. I think for me, like, it's really giving me a chance in that downtime to really, because it's easy, like, not that I don't enjoy it, right? Because it has to be done, but talking about games afterwards, that's and analyzing games, that's, for anyone who's really in this and really watches basketball and really enjoys the discussion about basketball, that's the easy thing. This week for me has been like actually coming up with content, mailbag things, interacting a little bit more. So it's been cool. Plus, I've still been watching basketball, but it is what it is there. G.O. Hey, mate, how are you? We got Wizards, Pistons, and next coming up. But I can't stop thinking of the Warriors game at the UC. I would love to get one back on them, but I think we have to play 4 good quarters. Yes, listen. To beat the Warriors, you gotta play heads up all game. You can't have a down third quarter. Not to say you can't lose the third quarter, but you can't have some of those those dumbass third quarters that we have. It's going to take a whole team effort. Whoever's available, who's ever healthy by then, and it's going to take the Bulls to be focused, locked in, keep the turnovers down, get as many turnovers as you can, and play hard, right? And get in their faces. It's going to take a lot of that for sure. I feel like Zoe would want to return to LA at some point. I mean, hey, there you go. That's a point. That's a point, and a point that may very well be true. Let's see. I'm trying to catch on. Kuzma is averaging 27 and 10 on. Listen, almost every young player the Lakers traded away is, let me not say flourishing, but is doing pretty solid on their new teams. Wouldn't an injection of some solid youth be good for the Lakers right now? That's why you can't go all in on just veterans or try to just go for stars if you can't, right? Some teams, they have that luxury. It's all about the winning now, right? For Boston, they got a title out of it, for example, but they were very in contendership very early on, but you see they had to move on from it. But they moved on from it, got a lot of assets for those players, and that really contributed to their rebuild. I think if you have the players that you see the potential in, and you can do both, you can contend now and develop that. The Lakers are a perfect case in why you would want to try to do that rather than not. Question is, what is this? Question is, Zach getting that big contract? No, Zach is getting the max. Like that. Let's any questions on if Zach LaVine is getting the max? The only question is he going to qualify for the super max, and then will they give him the full super max? As far as is he getting big money, Zach is getting the max at a minimum. Zach is getting the max, unless Zach takes a little bit less money on the first couple of years, more money on the back end. Or you could do it reverse, right? Because we'll see how they structure the contract, because it could be that he has one of those deals that are descending, right? That he gets his money up front, and then they make the back end deals a little bit less, right? Because DeMar comes off, Caruso comes off, and then it gives you a little bit more flexibility. We'll see. This front office is very, very smart. So how Zach's contract construction itself is going to be interesting to see, but there's no question that Zach is getting the max. Zach is getting the max. Now, let's end that narrative there. Chicago Bulls Central, are we a complete team, and are we still a player away from a champion? Listen, we're a complete team for sure. Even complete teams have holes. Like, there's no perfect team. We're not a perfect team. We're a complete team. We can have enough to contend now. Now, we do need to do something, add some size possibility, but it's not, and I don't think it's going to come in the trade market. It's going to come through seeing who we can get in the buyout, or And this is the thing that a lot of Bulls fans don't want to hear. You ride out this season, and then next season, you have your mid-level exception. Especially if the Bulls team goes on a deep run, we're going to be a free agent destination. And then you still keep some of your youth. You may have to trade somebody away to kind of free up some space or whatever. But again, a lot of Bulls fans don't want to hear that, right? Because again, we have that Bulls fan and PTSD. People feel and taste that we're so close to contending, and they don't want to hear anything that's not this year. But that short-term thinking can hurt us in the long run. AK and Eversley are a lot smarter than any of us, so we'll see. Do you see Anthony Davis at some point in his career deciding to come back home and play for the Bulls? Listen, I don't put anything past, when you talk about at some point, anything's possible. That's too far. Not going to speculate on that. This week moved slow without Bulls game. Hey, power to you. My week's been blowing by. It's been crazy. After the season is over, do you think the Bulls should try to sign Robert Covington, Bobby Portis, Montrezl Harrell if he doesn't re-sign with DC, or bring back Thaddeus Young? If we're just talking about the players that you presented, I understand we all love Thad Young. I would love Thad Young on this team. But if you can get Bobby Portis back on the mid-level exception, you get Bobby Portis on the mid-level exception. That's what I say. And I know not everybody's going to agree with that. Again, my opinion holds no more weight than anybody else's. But if everything even, with just those players that you named, and let's say you have the mid-level exception to present, and they're all willing to take it, Bobby Portis is my pick there. My personal pick. Yes, Thad Young is better, I think better defensively, but again, we talk about a younger player. If somebody needs to step up in case Vuce goes down, I like Bobby Portis, man, but I don't think Bobby Portis is going to leave Milwaukee. I just don't think so. I can see AK sweet talking Nikola Jokic into coming. Well, we'll see with that. We'll see. I've been very much one of those people who I don't think Jokic is coming, but that's just my opinion. Warriors don't put fear in my heart because if Jazz, Suns, Clippers, Lakers, Exec can stop them, then to say lost cause. I like what you did there, Smear60. I like what you did there. It's cool that you talk with comments during games, during timeouts, halftime, and stuff. Talking comments? So, I have my halftime hangouts. I have my after game shows for sure. 713, 720, your all-star vote count twice. Listen to my dad trying to get the Bulls as many all-star votes as possible. 100% agree. The Lakers are why we shouldn't be trying to trade the young talent to bring in a star. We don't want to be the Lakers. And again, the Bulls don't need another star. I get why the mindset is you bring as many stars as possible. But again, this microwave society that we live in, man, it is what it is. I think I double-clicked something. My bad. Lakers went all in and lost their young players, but they also won a chip. Yeah, they won a single chip, and they had LeBron James. So, and they won that chip in the bubble. Again, I'm not one of the people who just think that because it was in the bubble, you completely throw it away, but there's circumstances in there that don't really apply to the Bulls. Have you looked at any mock drafts lately? Looks like the Blazers pick won't be conveying this year, so we'll have our own, which will be late first. Listen, even if we were going to get the Blazers pick, it was going to be late first round because the Blazers pick was lottery protected, meaning that as long as the Blazers did not make the playoffs, they were going to probably keep their pick. So we weren't gonna get a high pick from the Blazers anyway this year. It is what it is. The good thing is that we have a first round pick either way. We have the chance at having two. We have one either way. We saw what AK and Eversley were able to do with a high second round pick. So I trust their ability to draft. I trust their ability to scout, and I trust that they're going to do something with that first round pick. Now, it may not be keeping the first round pick, but I trust what they're going to do with that first round pick. Zach can get that. Zach can get all NBA first team. Let's be very clear here. The only thing that I think can stop him is that because DeMar is listed as a guard for the All-Star voting, he's probably going to be listed as a guard for all NBA team. But Zach can get third all NBA team is at the bare minimum. So yes, Zach can get a little much higher than that. Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. What are we doing here? That's a whole starting five plus 6-man plus backup power forward, and the Lakers can use them all now. Yes, King Austin, absolutely. Keep in mind, even if they weren't going to keep all their young players, for what they're paying Russell Westbrook, they could have had DeMar, Caruso, and half of Lonzo, right? So, come on, man. Come on. Let's see what we got here. Let's put it this way. If Zach learns how to slide past defensive screens and gets a little more or less turnover prone, Supermax. Well, again, it's not that. You have to qualify for the Supermax. All he has to do for qualify for Supermax is make an all NBA team. And guess what? The Bulls are probably going to give that to him. If he, again, we'll see. But yeah. They know Zach's holes. They know Zach's issues. They know that very well. Believe me, they know every limit that Zach LaVine has. Remember when the Heat went for a run to the finals with small ball? I think we can do that too. Look at Suns also. Hey, things are let's Cam Johnson playing his fucking ass off. Did you see how many threes he hit the other day? Man, I would love to have Cam Johnson on this team. Even if we get knocked out early, it would still be good to let it play out, see what we have and what we need. I agree with that. I do think Zach will take a backloaded contract so we can get pieces now. See that, and it's either way. You can see you going either way, right? He can take a front-loaded contract so that when DeMar, Caruso, Vooch are gone, that we have more flexibility in the future. Because keep in mind, the Bulls can, right, re-sign Vooch with bird rights and still stay in that, even if Zach's contract is high. Or he can take a backloaded contract, give us more flexibility now. There's a lot of either way though. The thing is, I don't know how much a backloaded contract really gives us as far as flexibility, because either way we're going to be an over the cap team. We're going to be operating as an over the cap team. So I don't know, but hey, where do things have happened? I bet Thagic is back in free agency after this season. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. D'Lo and Lonzo could have been the Lakers' backcourt, but no, traded Randall, traded Ingram, traded Hart, traded Clarkson, traded Kuzma at 10 cent. DeMar traded all for the retirement home Lakers. And it's crazy. Jokic is eligible for the Supermax after next year. I think Vooch has one more year left. Your thoughts on possibly? Listen, I don't know if that's realistic. I just don't know now. Again, we have salary cap wizards for a front office, so anything's possible, but we'll see. But keep in mind, no other team can offer the Supermax other than the team he signed to. So if he wants that Supermax, he's going to have to stay in Denver. So keep that in mind too. How can you see the Bulls winning the next 4 games? I personally think they'll split. Listen, I've learned not to bet against the Chicago Bulls. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it all. Like win four more games in a row. Even though I enjoy watching Bulls games, I'm glad our team had this opportunity to rest before the upcoming games. Going to be good. Yes, definitely glad that they had this opportunity to rest because, sorry, I got the hiccups for a second. They've played so many games in such a condensed amount of time. It's good to see them get some rest for sure. I think Jordan Bell going to see minutes. No, I don't know, man. Bradley's back, so I don't know. I really don't think Jordan Bell's going to play anything out of garbage time on this Bulls team. And Jordan Bell is not that good. He's not that good. Oh wow. Someone call Mirotic and bring him back home. Just tell him he won't get sucker. Listen, fuck Mirotic, man. No, I'm good. Sleepy Maldonado. It's so weird. For so long we've been a free agent, signed Dusty. Even when we had D Rose in his prime was hard, but we didn't have AK as our GM, and KG said anything is possible. Now listen, this front office, again, having players talk us positively. Yeah, it sucks that we weren't a free agent destination during Derrick Rose's time, but that time is long gone. Thankfully. Oh, good question here. With Kyrie returning, do you think this helps or hurts the Nets team chemistry? Will this benefit the Bulls? The thing is, like, I don't know if it hurts their chemistry. It's not like he's a new player completely to the team, right? Their main team knows how to play with Kyrie Irving. So I don't know if it hurts their chemistry at all. I'd have to see it before I'm ready to say that it will, but we'll see. Well, keep in mind, Bradley's been out with COVID, so he'll get run down. But he's so terrible in offense, man. He's just so terrible in offense. I think Bradley's best role is like as not the first big off the bench, probably your second off the bench, and gives you some solid minutes, man. Smear 60 in the building. Let's also keep in mind, once LeBron retires, there's little hope for the Lakers in the future. They will fall into irrelevancy once again. What is the Lakers draft pick outlook like? Like, do we know like how many of their own picks they own or anything like that? I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but that's a question for somebody who actually follows the team. All I'm saying, Haize, is Zach is right on the cusp of a definite supermax, and getting a couple more tenths into average steals box will be the NBA first team on like. I think he may have enough to get all NBA first team, especially if we're talking about him getting some MVP votes. But we'll see. We'll see. I think we should go all in the season. Our players aren't getting up. What? You don't want all your players to get younger. Again, Zach's in his prime. Patrick Williams hasn't even sniffed what we don't even know what the hell he could be at this point. So again, all in means a lot of different things. We got to stop thinking that going all in means just trading all young players away. That's not the only way you can go all in. We gotta come up off that. You should watch the G League for the Bulls. Troy Baxter Jr. got hops. Hops, that don't tell me shit. I don't want to be Lob City. I want to win games. But no, I'll definitely watch some of these City Bulls games. The league rebooking the Detroit Pistons game the day before our nationally televised Bulls versus Nets game is some bullshit. It's the Bulls versus the association and the refs. But yeah, I already called that out when that happened. I had a whole video when I did my video after they rescheduled that. I called that same thing out. We barely get any televised games. DeMar was subbed on the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. We get no media recognition. We had the worst offseason. All this stuff just puts. Listen, give us more chips and more chips on our shoulder. We'll take all that. We'll take all that. So they're kind of with the Lakers have no high picks until 2028. God damn, man. Damn, bro. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. It is what it is, though. That happens. That's team construction. That's why, and that's what some Bulls fans will have us in that same position. Some Bulls fans would have us in that same position. Cordell 98. What's going on, Haize? What's going on, my brother? What's going on, man? Glad to have you here. Do you think we done a good Groot job on our fourth pick? Yes, absolutely. As of right now, again, a 19-year-old player we drafted. He's 20 years old. We don't know what's happening this season. You really can't evaluate that right now, but it's going to be okay. Don't think going all in means trading all your young players, but we should be planning to get a ring this season because we can. Absolutely, absolutely. Why is the Nets versus Bulls game at 9 p.m.? I think it's a doubleheader. So I think that's why. I think they have a game on before us. So that's the price of being on national TV. I'm the one who we got to pay for that shit because then I have to do that live stream afterwards, and you motherfuckers better be in there. So for sure. McClellan dropped 17 points for the Windy City Bulls last night and got called back up to the NBA after Acme watches. Listen, that has nothing to do with it. It's a body. I'm telling you right now that McClellan is not going to get any meaningful minutes on this Bulls roster. I'm telling you right now. It's not going to happen. Not to say that he isn't going to do it at some point. Not to say that they don't want to develop him. Not to say he's trash or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. Not with most of our guards are healthy. Really, the only guard out of our rotation is Alex Caruso. And I think this team would rather take a look at Ayo and Kobe than McClung. So Julie is in the building. Hey, stopping by to say hello. Hello, Julia. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. I appreciate you always. Jason C. has Ersan played? No, he has not played a single minute for the Bulls. Not a single minute. Did you see DeMar went to Ayo's jersey retirement? Well, that's a veteran, and that's his rookie. So yeah, absolutely. I want Ayo to soak up as much from DeMar DeRozan as possible. Literally. Did y'all see the picture of? Damn, was it Jack in the Box? It was some like weird thing where Ayo was carrying so much fast food. First of all, I was surprised. No, it was Chipotle. So maybe it wasn't that bad. We can't call in sick from the Nets post game. Nope. You bastards got to be there. You bastards got to be there. Laxus, I want the Bulls to beat full strength top tier teams. Well, what's full strength in the regular season? But absolutely, everybody should. Everybody. I'm not somebody who wants to see the Bulls face weakened competition all the time either. I talked about this already. Bucket Vibe TV. I talked about this already. It's going to be difficult for him to be this season, but he will be an all-star while he's in the Bulls roster. Io equals draft. Listen, Joseph. Io has as much potential as anyone drafted in the first round in this past draft. Period. So, dude, glad to see ESPN finally trying to give us some love. I mean, there have been some analysts that have showed us some love. Some, right? Sprinkled in there. But it is what it is. Do you think it's feasible for Zach to be an all-star starter after the report came? I talked about this a little bit earlier, Cedric. I don't know. We'll see what the second round of voting comes out with. He would have to take a huge leap and play pretty well to get a lot of new votes. But at this point, with the way that things are shaping up, Zach is probably going to be a reserve. But I'll take it. As long as he's an all-star, I'll take it. Give him another chip on the shoulder, right? Give this team more chips on their shoulder so we can win a ship. That's what I got to say. How would you want to match up in the first round of the playoffs for storyline Hornets? Oh, I've already said that. I've said this very heavily. Hornets all day. If I had my pick, a first round matchup for the Bulls, for storyline, it's the Hornets all day, every day, period. What we got? Laxus. Isaiah Thomas and the NBA TV guys love the Bulls. Yep. Crazy how everyone wants Paul traded for JG when he left Denver for being the third option when he would be the fourth here on a 2-year rental at $20 million a year. Like people are short-sighted, bro. That's all it is. How do you feel when Kobe White got drafted by the Bulls? Personally, I ran around like a kid in the candy store. Listen, I was hyped, right? I was super. I won't lie though. I wanted Garland more than Kobe. But when they got Kobe, when I did more research on Kobe, seen like his excitement and just I got really excited about Kobe White. Is it me or does Io remind you of a high IQ Colin Sexton with better defense? I don't hate the comparison. I don't love it either, but I don't necessarily hate the comparison. Don't hate it. All right. Let's see. They gave the MVP of the month to MV for playing 4 more games than DeMar for 4 more losses. DeMar went 8 of 8 for the games. Hey, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. But hey, that's the shit that we run into. Michael, I think Jordan Bell will get minutes tomorrow. I don't think so. I don't think Jordan Bell gets, especially Tony Bradley's back. I don't think he gets any more minutes. RJ coming through with the facts. -12 per 100 possessions when he's on the court. -7 when off. Jeremy Grant is not all that. There's some people that are going to hate hearing that. DeMar made the trip down to watch Io. Yeah, we just talked about that a little bit. Just touched on that. How is Kyrie able to play in Chicago with the vaccine mandate we have here? Again, it doesn't apply to players from opposing teams. I don't know how the legalities or whatever of how that works, but that's what's going on. What the hell? All right. We are going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. So we got 10 more minutes. That give us 10 more minutes. Get in any more of your thoughts and questions. Thank you for showing. First of all, thank you guys for showing up for Impromptu Live. I think I posted this like maybe around like 3 o'clock today. And you guys showed up. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that completely. I can't stress that enough how much you guys show up for me, man. It means a lot. What do you think about Isaiah Stewart trying to kick LeBron's ass? I mean, I don't give a damn about Hairline James at all. Fuck him. Kick his ass. I don't give a damn. You think McKinney will get some minutes tomorrow? Yeah, I think he'll get some minutes. I definitely think he gets minutes tomorrow. It depends on, of course, matchups and how things are going, but I definitely think he gets some matchup. This is an interesting thing. How short do you think Billy Donovan's rotation is going to be in the playoffs? I mean, almost everyone is like an 8 to 9 man rotation in the playoffs, so I definitely think like that at the bare minimum. But depending on like you got some players that we have are going to be unplayable in certain matchups, depending on how the other team plays. So we'll see. But keep in mind, we're still developing as a team and stuff like that. So we'll see. But it is what it is. I missed playoff basketball in Chicago. The last series against the Celtics, I was so pumped when we went 2-0. Celtics, if only Rondo wasn't hurt, man. Listen. But everything happens for a reason. Because had the Bulls won that series, they wouldn't have blown the team up. We would have never gotten Zach LaVine. And then we would have probably been stuck with Garpax for even longer. So there you go. It's simple, Haize. You go live, we show. Well, Ace Daniels, thank you. That's it. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all. Do you think the Bulls will make it to the finals? I think that they can. I'm not ready to say for sure will they, but I think that they can for sure. I bet you Lonzo is going to make Bradley Beal look so bad tomorrow. Well, from your mouth to God's ears, Shay. Sexton is far more explosive on offense than Io, and more apt comparison is Chris Dunn, but a much better shooter. I like that. If you can sit down and have a conversation with one person from within the Bulls organization, who would it be? Players, coaches, front office. Currently, it would be Joakim Noah, right? He has an official role with the team, so I'll pick him. But no, honestly, I think just after hearing him on podcasts and stuff, I think it would be DeMar DeRozan. Brandon Peck, book it. Bulls Warriors NBA Finals. Well, God damn it, man. Hey, I hope it happens. Roderick Davis, Haize, your show has become my favorite all day, every day for the rest of the year. You rock, dog. Keep it good. Roderick Davis, thank you so much, brother, man. I appreciate that. I don't know how we got here. I'm not even going to lie. I have no idea how we got here as quick as we did. None. But we did it. And we're 70 subscribers away from hitting 4,000 subscribers, which is just bonkers to me. Bonkers. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's in 5.5 months. It's crazy. Is there an injury prone in the Bulls lineup? Huh. I know Vuce has had a career of injuries, but like straight up injury prone? I don't know, man. I don't know. DJJ on the bench for the playoffs would be one of the extra. Yeah, absolutely. I love Derrick Jones Jr. How he's developing, man. Yeah, I love Derrick Jones Jr. Hi, Haize. Nice lights. The white tee sets it off. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm glad there's enough space between me to where I'm not getting color. Oh, see, I just had it. The color cast on the white shirt. I got to sit up some more. But yeah, I really like the new setup. I'm gonna get some big ass painting to go from one side of the wall to the other, like a canvas painting for something for sure. Make a prediction. Do you think DeMar, Caruso, and Vucevic are staying for another contract? Ooh, I don't know about keep him. DeMar is a veteran, but the way that he's aged and his game isn't based hugely on athleticism. It depends. If this team wins a title, maybe they try to run it back. Caruso, he just feels like such a Chicago player. But somebody may offer him. The only reason why Caruso may not resign here is that if Caruso gets a super big contract from the Bulls and Io continues to develop the way that we see it, the Bulls may take a look at it and be like, listen, Caruso, we love you. We love your energy. We love what you brought to this team. But this Io kid, younger, has learned from you the last couple of years. It gets interesting there. Vooch, I think Vooch is like I said, I expect Vooch to sound like a 1-and-1, a 2-year deal. But we'll see. Ace Daniel, shout out to all my brown people in the chat. Just the Brown? Well, come on, man. You got to give more shout out to the Brown people. Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad it didn't happen. Hey, that's why I sit with a lot of things. Do you prefer Billy's rotations or Chris Fleming? The rotation was pretty the same. I like, not the rotation. I like the adjustments that Chris Fleming made a little bit quicker than Billy Donovan. That's what I think. Do I have a Discord? Yes. If you actually go to the About page, there's a link to the Discord there. We don't have a lot of people in there. I think it's like less than 10, but we have conversations there. Let me not say they, because I'm not in there a lot either. Hi from Chicago, go Bulls. What up, Diego Garcia? Thank you for joining, my brother. Joseph in the building. Io also larger with a longer wingspan with a defensive mindset. Io also not being asked to be a high scorer. Good points. All good points. Valid points were made on that, for sure. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking something up. So I told you guys we were going to do a giveaway. So we are going to be doing a giveaway today. And it's going to be one question. I'm just preparing you guys. So before I get off here, we'll be doing a giveaway for something. So that's what I'll say. Y'all got to get this man, get his 70. Come on, y'all, subscribe. Hey, listen, it's so crazy that, like, my videos now, like, I think I average like 3,500 views per video on this channel. And it's crazy to me because most of the people who watch aren't, like 70% of the people who watch the videos aren't subscribed, but we have almost 4,000 subscribers. I don't get it. I don't know why people watch. It's probably like, and keep in mind, I wasn't a big YouTube viewer either. So, but people probably watch every video and don't subscribe, which is crazy. Why the media not talking about? Well, we already talked about that. We know why. Quick prediction for Bulls. Bulls win by 6 is what I'm predicting tomorrow. That's what I'm predicting tomorrow. Don't ask me. I didn't give any thought to it. You said quick prediction. I didn't even really think about it. I just threw out a number. DeMar said he wouldn't want to still be playing when he's 40. So I don't know about. See, that's kind of where my mind went as well. Do you think Lonzo Ball committed to Chicago and will resign? Listen, I do. I think when you look at, like, it's and then even don't get me wrong, he signed here 1 year longer than DeMar. I think that year that he's here after DeMar, if DeMar doesn't resign and he leaves, and what he gets to do is really going to be telling. But I think Lonzo's going to be here for a while. Do you think Billy Donovan's late adjustments could hurt us in the playoffs? It could, but I think he's going to make some. I think he will fix that. Like and subscribe. Thanks for the hard work, Haize. I appreciate you, Jorge. I think Vuce can stay a long time with an old man's game. Just use him as a backup. He'd be nice, but it depends on the money. It depends all on the money. All on the money. Okay, you guys ready for a giveaway? Here's what we're going to do, right? I am going. How do I want to do this? All right, so I'm going to present one question. It's a question about the podcast, and it's going to show who's been around for the longest, and it may come down to who can look it up the fastest. But I will donate, whoever wins this question, because it's a simple question, the same Bulls hat that I have, not mine. I'm keeping my hat. The same Bulls hat that I have, I will buy for any subscriber that answers, or anyone watching this who answers this. What was the day that Chicago Bulls Central, the podcast, launched? First answer gets the hat. First answer gets the hat. First answer gets the hat. What day did Chicago Bulls Central podcast first launch? Ace Daniels with this. First of all, thank you for the super chat, my brother. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. If you have the app Bleacher Report, and you should, we get down in the community section with debates. Go Bulls and keep. Oh, I do have the Bleacher Report app, but yeah, I don't use it. I don't check it that often. I'm definitely not in their message board. So thank you for that. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. Nope, wrong. The podcast did not launch August 28th. Come on, y'all got to come with it. What day did the podcast, the Chicago Bulls Central podcast? Keep in mind, I'm trying to give you guys the clues. What day did the podcast launch? Nope. Smear60 got it. Stop it. Smear60 got it. Keyword there. I was saying podcast because most people would know that the YouTube channel came much later after the debut of the actual podcast. So Smear60 got it. August 4th was the day that the podcast launched. You know what? I'll save it. I'll save it for when we hit the 5,000 subscriber mark. I'll do a bigger giveaway with some more questions. But Smear60 got it. Smear60, hit me in my email with your address, your hat size, and I'll get your hat out to you. You won the one tonight, man. Smear60 won it. Thank you guys for everyone who contributed answers, man. But yeah, yep. That's funny, man. It hasn't been that long. It's really crazy. And then the YouTube channel launched. What day did I launch the YouTube channel? The YouTube channel launched August 14th. So 10 days later is when I released my first video on YouTube. And that first video, yeah, that was a bit rough. I was nervous as shit in that first video, man. But I appreciate you guys, man. But yeah, August 4th was the day that it was launched. The podcast was launched August 14th. The YouTube channel was launched August 14th, 10 days later. So Smear60, get in touch. He said earlier than that, it's been 5 months. What? Who said earlier than that? What are you talking about? Bulls will beat the Bucks. All right, so we'll do a round two. We'll do a round two. We'll do a round two. Smear60. I'll get you something, bro. You know what, Smear60? I'll get, because I'm getting t-shirts for Chicago Bulls Central made up. I'll get you that. So the hat. Let's give it to somebody who's a non-mod. Let's see what is it? Give me a second. Give me a second to come up with what this is gonna be. Shit. I'm trying to think. Oh, this is a great thing. Petty Roosevelt made his initial debut after we faced a certain team. I flamed that team in the intro. What team was it that Petty Roosevelt made his initial debut against? Give it to me. What team was it that Petty Roosevelt was flaming on his initial debut on Chicago Bulls Central? This is going to tell me how long you guys been around. I'm checking it. Hasn't come up yet. I talk about this all the time. Come on, man. Now, it was not the Knicks. So anyone saying Knicks, it was not the Knicks. You would think that it would have been the Knicks, but it was a certain fan base that, when I did my preview video, was talking mad shit in the descriptions. Not the Lakers. It was within my first. Hold on, let me see if I can find which video it was. Let me see if I can find out which video it was. It was very early on in the season. I believe it was the game. It was the Bulls' second game of the season. I believe. Hold on, I'm trying to check it. So it was. This was a video from October when Petty Roosevelt made his initial debut. Let's see. Let me go back up. See, it's been said. I'm just trying to check to see who got it first. Give me 1 second. God, you guys keep talking. Rakim got it first, Toronto. Rakim 0431. Email, the email is in the description. Email me your hat size and your address, and I'll get it to you. It was the Raptors. Raptors fans turned up in my preview video of that game and said there was a specific Raptors fan who said there is no world in which the Bulls win tonight, and some more. And in the intro of the next video, I completely flamed their asses. That was Petty Roosevelt's debut. So that's it for the giveaway. Man. I appreciate you guys so much. So Rakim, get that email to me, man. Rakim0431 is the winner on this one. But that's it for me tonight, guys, man. An impromptu live stream. I just wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to do that giveaway. Wanted to celebrate. Wait till you see what I do at 4K. Wait till you see what I do when we finally pass 4K. But thank you everyone who contributed, everyone who continues to just contribute and be a part of this channel, the growth of the channel, who's sharing it. Like I said, there's times where I hop in Bulls Facebook groups literally just to talk, and my videos are posted. So it's crazy. It's crazy, and I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys mean the world to me. This channel means the world to me. What we're building here means everything to me. I will see you guys again tomorrow morning for my preview video, and I'll see you guys live again tomorrow night during halftime and after the game. Like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. Peace.